Okay, what I got here is a 2001 Chrysler Sebring convertible with a 2.7 liter, the lemon motor. I just wanted to give everybody a little update. I ran into some problems with this car. I picked it up really cheap. When I tore it apart, I come to find out it was easier for me to pull the motor, but I had to put timing gears, new chain in there, and a new oil pump and water pump. I had to take the water pump back, even though I had a brand new, not a reman. I grabbed the sprocket on the pump, and I literally had 20 thousandths movement in it. And I went back and I got a reman pump, and I was able to move it, and I only had 5 thousandths movement, which to me considers there should have been some play that should not been. So I didn't take a chance, so I put the tighter water pump in. When I had the engine out, this engine was very, very sludged up, so I decided to take and hang it up with the intake manifolds, everything off. I pulled the oil port galley plugs out, and I used a degreaser, and I flushed this engine completely, made sure everything was super clean, because when I took the oil filter off and I cut the oil filter just to check it, there was actually debris in the filter which it caught from the oil pump when it faulted out from the water leaking out of the water pump. What happened when the water pump went bad? The water goes directly down in your antifreeze. It goes right directly below, which has got the oil pickup tube, which flushes it directly into your oil pump, which transports it through the rest of your engine. Thank God the oil pump caught in the filter. The filter caught all of the debris. Anyways, I cleaned the motor all up, put it all back together. I started it up. It ran like a charm for 2 days. Then all of a sudden, I started getting a noise. What is going on? I'm thinking, don't tell me the oil pump stopped. Well, I decided today I tore the car apart, and I want to show you what I found. I think some of it is partially my mistake, but in the process, I discovered something else. Now remember, this is on the Chrysler 2.7 liter engine. Where'd my flashlight go? There it is. Okay, come on straight over here. I want to show you what I found. Down inside of the motor, way down in there, see that bolt? Can you see that bolt with the camera?
Yeah.
Okay, that bolt came out of here on the front of the sprocket. Now, what I think happened, one, either I wasn't paying attention because I was so hung up in the assembly, I may have overlooked it and not torqued it properly, and it fell out in there. Thank God this did not come off. This was a Chloe's gear and timing chain set, which was $700. I wanted to put top of the line in. That I got lucky that the screw did not go down and damage nothing. Well, what happened when the motor was running, it sounded like the top end was going to blow up. It sounded like lifters were pounding. It sounded kind of like a diesel engine sound. I'm like, oh no, I thought the oil pump went out. Well, I tore it down. This is what I found. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reinstall these screws. But when I go to reinstall them, I'm going to clean these out with some good carb cleaner. And I'm going to make sure they're good and clean the threads. And I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite. Don't put a lot, just a very little thread locker on there. And then I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to re-torque the screw. There is, like I said, I may have overlooked this, and I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Now, in the process of this, I thought, you know what? Because of the way it sounded, I'm going to check my lifters. Well, in the process here, I decided to start pulling all the caps off. Now, remember, these caps, if you look, there's a number on them, like the C21. The next one has there's like a C31, so you'll know the C's go on the top, and they're actually numbered in order, 2, 3, 4, so you can know where they go. The bottom bearing caps have got another letter on them. Mine have a E, which would be like E1, E2, E3, so you know where they go. Now, if you look at the cam lobes, see how they got little worn marks on them right here from heat and wear and tear? Now, let me remind you, this motor was very sludge. It's super clean now because I used degreasers and really cleaned it up really, really good before I assembled it. I did not check it for leaky valves, but it did run good. Now, one thing you must remember when you assemble, always use a good engine assembly lube. It's like KY gel. You don't want it dry. What I do before I put my bearings on, I'm going to lubricate all my lobes right there before the caps go on, so I know between that aluminum and steel there is lubricant while the initial startup. Then I also make sure I put some on the lobes. The reason why, on the lobes, on your lifter, you have got this roller rocker. This is a roller rocker. And that rocker, that ball in the center here, rolls on that cam. That's metal to metal. Lubricate it. Well, I decided I wanted to check the lifters and make sure they're clean. So I'm going to show you what I did in the check those, and also what I found out about the rockers. This is the lifter I took out of the 2.7 Chrysler motor. This one, what I thought was maybe my lifters were bad because of the noise. Well, a lot of times you can check these lifters. There is no movement up and down. It's kind of pretty solid. This is like hydraulic. It's done. There's a hole in the side where oil goes in to pressurize it and comes out the top, which actually sits inside of this rocker. Now, what I discovered in this process was, I thought, you know, maybe these lobes are getting worn a little bit because of lack of oil. I'm thought, well, how is the oil getting on there, splashing or what? Then it dawned on me, wait a minute, there's a hole in the top. The oil squirts out the top, but it comes in here. What's it going? Well, I found out there is a very, very fine little pinhole in here, and I just happened to discover this now. A couple of them are plugged, and my lobes were getting dry. So what I did, I took some carburetor cleaner, I got up inside of here, and I cleaned them out in the hole. Then I took a wire tag. I got a simple wire tag, and what I did, I bent it a little bit, and inside there, there's the hole. It'll be up inside. So what I did, I went into here, and I fed it through the hole, and I pushed it. Now, if you can see that wire? You see that in there with the phone?
Yeah.
See how it's moving in there? That hole was plugged on a couple of them. Apparently, it was from sludge from previously. So what's happening when that oil goes through here, it actually, as this rocker is moving, it squirts, just like a little nozzle, squirts oil onto here, which lubricates this, which is the lobe on your cam. My cams were showing marks of heat buildup. Those were the ones that were plugged. I wanted to point this out to you, to when you do this rebuild or this general repair, check that hole, because if these are not getting oil, you're going to prematurely wear out your rockers. Your lifters are going to fail because nothing's lubricating properly. So you want to make sure everything is flowing nice. Make sure you use your assembly lube when you assemble this. I just checked at the auto parts. I thought, oh, I'm going to check my lifters. My lifters so far have been good. And a new lifter is like a Millings brand, $10. $10 is enough. These engines are very expensive to repair. One more thing I want to show you what I flushed real fast on the lifter. On this lifter, if you can see that hole, I took the carburetor cleaner, I put it into the hole, and I squirt it. See how it comes out the end? That's what your oil does. And then it goes through that little hole, which squirts onto your lobe.